big GLHF to Sarp. It is a weekday evening. My brain's a little bit fried, but we're going to do our best here. I love reverse royalty. Playing any game mode with such stakes, like best of one, winner moves on, losers eliminated, gets the nerves pumping a little bit, gets the juices flowing. We're gonna do our best to not flag. What I want to do is trust myself to make somewhat sound moves. I don't have too much of like an opening game plan for this game mode, besides just make solid moves, don't lose too much time. So we're going to try that and we're going to see how it goes. Okay, all right. If I have to go into the think tank because this is a tournament game, or if I have to be quiet for a little bit to calculate out a few lines, then I only ask for your patience. Chat, hopefully you don't take it too personally, but here we go. 5D League Cup quarterfinals match. Let's start. I like the two knights opening here. Keeps you flexible. You don't really commit to any particular pawn structure. Oh, okay, interesting. What is the idea behind sorry, it's not C4. It's F5. I think we're not going to think too deeply about this. I think that we are going to do a kingside frappuccino. I think that that's what we're gonna go for. This is interesting. This is very interesting. I think that this is good incentive for us to, we can always flank attack this with our G pawn. It is also good incentive. I was planning on playing like a D3 in lieu of like an E pawn out anyway. And so I think that this really plays into our structure reasonably well. Still haven't quite figured this out, but I think we're gonna do this. Okay, prevents a knight from hopping in there. That could be pretty bad. I think that makes a lot of sense. We want to develop our pieces. Sarp is playing very quickly, it's got to be said. I want to prevent him from too many knight shenanigans as well. I think that our common king holds down F2 in a way that our queen doesn't hold down C2 very well, so I'm actually going to push A3, preventing like any knight b4 shenanigans. Question is, where do we put our dark square bishop? Decisions. Developing the common king is really important. We're playing calm moves. Okay, so he develops his... Wow, we are off to the races, man. This is crazy. 40 seconds off Sarp's clock, and we're already on turn 7. Okay, so... let's see. There's a lot of chat, and I can't worry about it too much right now, so I'm going to give myself a little break here. I think that if something like bishop f4 happens, then e5 is probably like sufficient scrutiny for us. The question is, do I want to block in my e pawn? I'm really unsure. I do want to develop my own common king. So there's a big question of where is this common king going? I think that I know that I just said that the common king defends here quite well. I think I want to put my common king on e3. Let's see. Push here and then takes here. If I like push e4, then if he takes with this pawn, I guess it's not very good for me. So you know what? Let's go slow. Let's take it slow. Let's push h3. Maybe probe this wayward pawn here. We can't push immediately because after takes, and it kind of opens up this side of the board for us in a way that I'm not in love with. Hmm. Let's think. I develop my pieces. I think that this Comic King holds down the structure in a way that is really frustrating. I think getting my knight in here might actually be annoying almost already. Almost already, but not quite. I want to get my bishop and my Common King out. All right, now I feel that I'm spending a little bit too much time. So the question is, where do our pieces go? Let's push our Common King up for now. I know that it blocks in our dark square bishop, but I have the feeling that we're gonna have the opportunity for a Frappuccino soon anyway, and I just don't feel fantastic about putting this guy anywhere else. And I want to make some developing moves here. I want to make some good developing moves. F2 is now a weakness, but we're just gonna have to tackle that as it comes. You know, you can't defend everything. You want to focus on defending what's relevant to defend. Okay, so now I think that he's finna Frappuccino soon. That's for goddamn sure. Okay, it doesn't really weaken the square very much. I think that we're probably going to counter Frappuccino. Yeah. I think we're probably going to counter Frappuccino. I just don't see like a much better way of developing our dark square bishop, and we're 3 minutes behind. This was my first idea. We've got a weird, somewhat symmetric position here. Yeah, we're gonna doubly defend this knight. There is a bit of an issue now where if this knight comes in, then we might have to open up this file, which isn't fantastic, but this is a weird pawn structure. I don't know what I do here. It's like slightly annoying to deal with. Probably, honestly, yeah, I don't know. It's certainly a weakness. Oh, not how I expected that one to go. I expected him to move here and then want to open me up, but this also makes some sense. Okay, we have to be a little careful here. What can this knight do? Obviously, okay, so there's a bit of a question here where I need to ask myself if I value this knight more or less than, maybe we just play rook up and see how it goes. Or rook over to defend the bishop to allow us to capture here. Because where is this guy going? Capturing here is pretty bad. This check seems pretty bad. Capturing here is pretty bad. Here is pretty bad. Even after takes, right? I have to decide between, you know what, this is what my intuition tells me is the move here. So this is exactly what we're gonna play. I'm going off of instinct here. I am behind in time, and I don't think that I have sufficient like game plan or positional advantage to justify that. But I actually feel pretty decent about this, I think. Okay, here there's a big question of, do I take with the do I take with the bishop or with the common king? If I take with the common king, then there might even be a line where he can sack here with a bishop, and that could end up pretty bad for me. Maybe I'm overthinking it. The common king would also allow me to, it would put an extra defender on this square so I can get this knight in, and then this bishop's eyes are opened. Let's see what to do. Okay. You know what? I'm feeling this, and then we bring our rook over. And maybe even push like e4 or something like that. True Chad play famously is e4. Yeah, like a bishop sack onto this board could actually be really annoying. So I might actually want to push this pawn this turn. I might be like over engineering this whole situation here. That's interesting. That must gear up for a frappuccino. If that gears up for a frappuccino, then maybe I just want to nip that in the bud. Maybe I want to do this. Maybe I want one of these situations to open the eyes of this and also the rook, right? And then if takes, I obviously have takes, but maybe before that I have takes here. I'm just going to do it. My intuition tells me that this is the right play. It's kind of scary to allow him to have a knight here. And the way that I've done it also means that if he's got a knight here, then I don't have a defender here. But if he takes with the knight, then maybe I just take here with the common king, because he still can't frappuccino. He's got to do something to cover this. I think I really want to pull my rook in like as soon as possible to prevent any shenanigans on this square. I'm feeling that pretty strongly. If he doesn't take, I kind of force his hand to take here. I've got a bit of this knight is kind of pinned here, and like he can, if he doesn't want to lose material, then he's gotta, I mean, I guess he could always fianchetto, but then I take here with check, and then after takes, that's like a really bad situation for him. So I don't know. The fact that this is a weak square in this position does actually greatly concern me. If takes here, then do I? Yeah, okay. Takes here was pretty much forced. So the question is, see, how does he deal with this though? Like he moves the knight over. I feel like I've gotten away with something if that's the play. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Centralizing the common. I'm too afraid of what he might do here. And maybe that's bad, but it is the decision that I've made. I just really don't want any crazy shenanigans here on this square. I am very conscientious of the fact that there's potentially like a travel here, but on the flip side to that, there's potentially a travel onto his onto e7 here. Not really, because this knight is covering it. Okay, I think that was pretty much necessary from him. Now the question is, do I want to kick this bishop? I guess I'm doubly wrong about that, because there's the common king defending. The common king really does hold down the position right there, huh? Okay, I'm kind of between two moves. I'm thinking that I might want to centralize this rook. Okay, probably the move is to centralize this rook. An alternative to that might be... let me think. Is there any way that I can... Okay, there is some crazy line where I can go here and then here and then do a nasty Tchaikovsky, but I mean, I'm not super not super convinced by that. Maybe I want to go here with the idea of going here. Right, maybe moving the common king up, because he can't push this pawn and is defended by the bishop. So actually, maybe I'm onto something here. Maybe I want to move this common king up, which buys me a little bit of time. Also prevents him from getting a bishop out here. What if he moves his common king up? I probably move this over. The fact that I haven't defended this square still feels pretty bad for me, but you know what? We're in this. Okay. Isn't the Steel Being Cement played in his last League Cup game? Not really sure. Haven't thought about it. Chosen One will be lurking. All right, fantastic. This game mode's always a mindfuck because he flipped the coordinates. Where the Royal Queen is. Yeah, I completely agree. Okay, so if that's happened, then obviously we do one of these. One fewer bishop for him. That feels pretty good for me. Poison's here. Hey, Poison. We're in a tourney game, so this is high stakes. This is intense. So if I don't if I don't manage to pay very much attention to the chat, then that's why. Please don't be offended. Okay. I think we might have. Okay, I actually anticipated that. But I think we might have some nasty stuff here. If we just move this common king forward, what does he do? He can't take, because then we recapture and we've got a bishop right there. And having a common king that close to, like, this threatens mate in basically a turn. So I'm just going to do this. Because if he doesn't take here, then next turn, well, the turn after next, really, I can travel to the common king just to right here, where it's defended by itself, and that's pretty killer. Okay, I think that trade was absolutely mandatory for Sarp to make. Okay. The question is now how I can best convert. I think that opening up the queen side here is an option with a pawn push here. If he just pushes, then I don't gain a ton. I can always pull this bishop back and then attempt to travel onto here on this board with this bishop from further away. That seems pretty potent, right? I'm sure that this common king is about to... Is there maybe even a Tchaikovsky close by? Let's see. The fact that he still has this common king is actually quite scary. If I push here, I don't want his common king to trap my bishop. I'm actually pretty... I would be quite unhappy with that. What can we do to combat that? Well, we could attack this square and simultaneously rip open his queen side with a move like this. It would also enable me to pull my bishop back. I kind of like that move. Right? How do we get punished? John's here. Did you stay in the same area or move far away? Same area-ish. Still out on Long Island, but I'm kind of like 20 minutes-ish away from where I used to live. Still pretty close to campus. Yeah. Right? Oh, wait. I just realized that the common king can't attack me here. Because I would just take it. It still goes though that I actually do want to attack that, but then if he takes, I can't take here, obviously, because then he would take my rook. So I think maybe I want to push here. I don't want to waste too much time. Yeah, he can't push up here because this square isn't defended. So actually, maybe what I want to do is centralize this rook. I think I want to centralize this rook probably and try to crack open the king side. Okay, I've wasted too much time. I've wasted a lot of time here. That's not very good. The question is how I take advantage of this bishop being here. You know, it might not even be the worst idea to just pull my queen all the way over here to prevent any shenanigans. I could also ostensibly do like a nasty Tchaikovsky here somehow. I still don't know exactly how, but because we can't get to here or anywhere else that's helpful, so never mind. Okay. I think I want to centralize this rook. And again, all right, I probably want to push this, right? Not even true. Maybe I can do this now. And then what does he do? Why do I really want to push my e-pawn? E-pawn out here. Takes. Seems pretty good. I really want to get to this square. All right, we're going to try to activate our rooks. I think I'm going to centralize my rook with the idea that, well, A, I don't want to waste time, but also B, I think I want to push open, I want to tear open his structure here. He might bring the common king back, actually, which, I mean, that wouldn't be the worst for me. And now that I think about it, pushing here is also a good move, I think. I think that pushing here is a good move. A4, because if takes, I can recapture with the bishop. Whoa. That's so brave. Dude, wait. There's no way that that's okay. Right? Whoa. Do I want to challenge that immediately? The problem is that he's got two pawns that defend both of these squares, which is quite clever for him. If I push here and he takes here, then I take with the rook without issue, right? Because if he takes, then I pretty much win the game. So actually, maybe not. Okay, I like this. I like this idea. If he takes here, we just immediately take with the rook. This is like a fake pawn. Like, he's pushed this pawn to make room for like an attack onto this bishop. But I don't think that it actually works. It's kind of scary. All right, no problems. If he takes, we insta take here. We're threatening his Common King here. All right, I am so deeply unworried about that. Okay, I think we're in really good shape. Sacrificing that for an open file. So next turn it's going to be here. So I want to push this pawn next turn, actually. I've probably won, if I'm honest. He can't block it in time because his Common King only moves one square at a time, right? And so it'll go open here, and then here, and then here, and then here, right? So queen on d8, d7, d6, d5. Next turn it'll be on d4, even if he goes to d5. Yeah. So now we just go here, like this. And then the next turn here is mate. Really hope I haven't messed that up. Yeah, so pawn is gone here. This square is empty here. This square is empty here. And we win. Whew. All right. We got there. We got there, boys. All right. That was pretty textbook. Nothing too wacky. The pawn push. I mean, I was disproportionately worried about the outcome of this game. I think for how, I really just didn't. I was so nervous I was going to mess it up somehow. This is a pretty textbook game. Oh my God. So many GGs rolling in the chat. Thanks so much, everybody. Good jobs. GG. HH, which is close enough. Komodo hype from John, Poison, Chosen One. GG. Sarp's in the chat too. Sarp, that was such a GG, man. I was so nervous. You just played so confidently. You took less than half of my time, or less than half of the amount of time that I took, and it was just super solid moves. And I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to crack the position. I was so nervous. Oh man. Okay. Let's see. What did I actually do? Okay, I had the two knights into the kingside fianchetto. The c5 really threw me for a loop. I super didn't expect it. That ended up holding an interesting amount of space. Okay, and then the d-pawns were pushed on both sides. h6 is always a fantastic prophylactic move. I played a3, hoping to stymie any knight b4 shenanigans. I figured I had the Common King holding down f2, so I didn't worry too much about the other one. But then I thought, I don't know how to develop from here. So I'm just going to push h3 myself, and then a6 happened. I thought, let me develop my Common King. I was afraid at the point where I enabled, after the double fianchetto, when I enabled you to do this, I was actually pretty damn freaked out. The reason is because I didn't want to take the knight here to enable the bishop here, because that just seems like an absolute nightmare. And so I played the rook move, but then I enabled you to pull the only other defender than my royal queen off of e2. So getting my Common King off of d2 and onto c3. And I was really worried from that point on that you were going to that you were going to like bishop travel onto e2 on this board, because I did weaken this square. That was probably suboptimal. It didn't end up happening, and in part, I think I almost that was like part of my incentive with opening up this diagonal in order to trade off these bishops, because I thought that that was going to be a nightmare, and also recognizing that this knight was sort of on its lonesome. So we did the trade, and then it forced the rook move. And here I felt pretty good about myself, because either you trade, in which case I get the common king like deep in there. Common king was really an MVP this game, man. So then the trade happened, which I was happy about, because it meant that I could basically never worry about e2 again. It was going to be difficult to get this bishop out here with what I was about to pull with the common king. This common king absolutely forced this trade to happen, because otherwise, like, the next turn, I had well, not the next turn actually, but the turn after the next turn, I had to travel onto d7, where the common king defends itself and it mates the queen, and that's never good. So then after this trade happened, I felt pretty good, because it obviously locks down the black position. There wasn't a fantastic way for me to try to convert. All of these squares were locked down for, like, my bishop couldn't like back out and get back on the file to sack onto this c7 square and try to mate that way, try to lure out the queen that way. I don't even know if that sack would have necessarily, well, okay, if I sacked onto this board, then that would have been rough, because, well, not super rough actually, because then you could just move the queen out to like here, flee to the corner, but then this bishop here would have mated the queen on the other board, so actually that would have been a pretty rough travel. But I didn't have the option to do it, and I was trying to figure out how to make that available for myself. So I tried to centralize the rook, because I didn't know what else to do, and I was going to push some pawns and attack this common king. This pawn push, I mean, when you see e4, e5, well, the equivalent here is d4 or d5, you have to immediately be skeptical. Because at the best of times, when you've got like a million pieces loaded onto that pawn, it's still not super defensible. And then a sort of very general 5D theme really helped me out here, I think, which is that unlike in 2D chess, like, yes, these central pawns exist here in order to like gain center control, but the problem is that the pawn that is in front of your royal piece, which I get why you push this, right? It's to try to get this bishop, which is like balls deep in your camp, out of there. And if if I like, you've trapped the bishop essentially, so like something's got to give here in this situation. But the pawn push, obviously, like this is like a kind of fake defender of this square. There's really only one defender of this square, for exactly the reason that we kind of saw. If this common king was somehow level with this pawn, then my tactic I don't think would have worked, by the way. Like after push here, and then the trade, and then the takes, and then the takes, the turn after d5 was evacuated. You could like repopulate d4 with your common king, which, I mean, it would have been an issue, don't get me wrong, because I could have maybe like kicked it or something like that, but it would have prevented the the road to the diagonal to the queen from propagating. But the issue was that this square was vacant on this turn, so next turn you had to cover this square. The problem was that this common king can only occupy this square next turn, at which point the diagonal's already propagated, and so we got there like just in time, as you saw, to get the mate off. So GG. What a great game. Sink first, moon later.